Okay, because of time, I have to cut you short, and largely this was on the housing question, and allow me now to get the account of Ndiritu Muriithi. Given what you have heard from the CS and the chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, Honorable Ndiritu Muriithi, what's your account and largely that of the opposition towards this course by the government?
Thank you, Ayub. On the question of comparisons, if we must compare ourselves with Singapore, then we should remember that a Minister of Industry in Singapore, Mr. Cheng Wan, actually committed suicide when he was found or when he was accused of corruption. So we should compare ourselves and emulate Singapore in all the ways in which Singapore used to become a developed country. The housing program has been criticized because the housing levy is seen not to be equitable. And this point has been canvassed by the professor. I only remind the audience that even those who may not be in need of housing have to contribute to this mandatory levy, and therefore from a taxation point of view, it is seen not to be equitable. This housing program has also been criticized on the question, again, Professor has spent some time on it, are you solving the actual problem? Four problems that bedevil the housing market in Kenya. The first one is the cost of materials of building. That we are talking about affordable housing, and we are having to give tax incentives in order to bring down the cost of those particular houses, whereas we should be solving the problem, why the cost of building materials so high, and what could we do more generally. Secondly, the cost of land. And the cost of land is also related to urban infrastructure. Take the case of Nairobi. The idea of Nairobi Metropolitan was to create infrastructure so that somebody can live as far down as Gedo or perhaps Naivasha and still be able to work within Nairobi city. And that is only possible if you have enabled urban infrastructure to develop, and that brings down the cost of land at the very center where we are all trying to squeeze. So these things are the things that government ought to be solving more generally. If you think about the cost of mortgages, affordability is a function of interest rates.
Thank you.
Again, I take you back, or just 10 seconds, I take you back to this question. If government is paying 17.5% for borrowing as it did today, what will you pay for your mortgage? That's the problem we should be solving.
Let's now finish up with Dr. Joy Kiru, and briefly, your account of all this concert by the government.